Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Sydney. We're going to be going through an hour flow tonight, bringing in some heat into the body, generating some core strength. So leave now if you don't want to do that. We're going to be building some heat and then moving forward into a series of postures that open the heart and also inspire grounding and move into more of a cooling series towards the end of the flow. So if you'll join me in a comfortable seated position wherever you'd like on your mat. And when you're ready, just gently close the eyes and arrive here. Begin to notice the breath. Observe the qualities of the breath here, without changing anything, noticing any tension that you're holding in the body, in the neck, shoulders. And then beginning to invite breath into the body, beginning to lengthen our inhalations and exhalations to match. Inhaling for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentle hold at the bottom of the exhale. Inhale, big belly breath. And exhale out the mouth. Let's do that twice more. Inhale. And exhale out the mouth. The last one. Inhale. And exhale. Let everything go. Bring the palms together. Rub the hands. Create some heat, some friction. And then gently rest them at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Gently tuck the chin in towards the chest. Bring the inner gaze to the third eye. And set an intention for the practice. I invite you to call upon anything you're grateful for tonight, a person, a thing, a place, a moment, and ruminate on that. When you're ready, we'll begin with one Om together. You can listen or join in. Inhale, exhale, we'll Om. Dip the chin to the chest, hands float to the knees, flutter the eyes open, and lift the heart. Inhale, raise the arms up overhead, breathe in, shine the heart up towards the sky, gaze to follow, and exhale, float the right hand down to the mat, and you can stay on the palm or come down onto the elbow. Inhale, reach the left arm towards the sky, and exhale, fold. Inhale, bring the gaze up under the shoulder. And exhale to stay. Inhale, float the arms up overhead. Bring the gaze up. Exhale, float the left arm down. Coming on to the elbow or staying on the palm. Inhale, reach through the top arm. And exhale to fold. Inhale, look up underneath the shoulder. And exhale to stay. Inhale, back up, reach the arms, and exhale, float the hands down to the tops of the knees. Inhaling, reaching the heart forward, gentle cat-cows here. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, reach the heart, reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling, and exhale, round the spine completely. Last time, inhale, reach. And exhale, round. Inhale, either float over the knees or just come onto one side into tabletop, bringing the palms, the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Untuck the toes, place the tops of the feet onto the mat. Inhale, reach the heart through the arms. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Exhale, round the belly. Same movement that we were doing seated. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Belly drops, crown of the head lifts. And exhale, rounds completely. Once more, inhaling forward, waking up the spine, and exhaling to round. Inhale back to neutral. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the sky. Gentle twist, engage the core. Exhale, thread the needle, bring the arm underneath the left and walk the left fingertips up overhead towards the right side of the mat. Stay here for one full breath. Walk the fingertips back underneath the shoulder and press up to neutral. One cat-cow, reach the heart forward, drop the belly, and exhale, round the spine completely. Back to neutral, strong base. Make sure we're tucking all 10 fingertips into the mat, supporting our foundation. Inhale, reach the left arm up towards the sky, gentle twist. Engaging the belly, exhale, thread the needle, walk the fingertips of the right out overhead towards the left side of your mat. Inhale and exhale to stay, inviting a twist into the body. Walk the fingertips back underneath the shoulder, press up to tabletop. Inhale, one more cat-cow, bring your belly down. And exhale, round the spine completely. Bring some hip circles in. So walk the hands out a foot or so from where they were. Inhale, reaching the hips towards the right palm, left palm, and back, creating as big or small of some hip circles that you'd like here. Moving with the breath, inhaling to one side and exhaling back. Switch sides, opposite direction, inhaling forward and exhaling back. One more on this side. And come back to neutral. Press the hips to meet the heels. Forehead to mat. One breath in child's pose. Exhale to stay. Inhale, press up, arch the back through cat. Exhale, float the hips down to the mat. Inhale, reach the heart up and forward. And exhale through cat down to child's pose. Finding this flow 3 more times together. Inhaling, arching the spine. Through cat, exhaling, dropping the hips. And inhaling through high cobra, shining the heart towards the sky. Exhale, float the hips back to the heels. Once more together, inhaling through cat. Exhaling, dropping the hips. Inhaling, high cobra, shine the heart. And exhale, float back through child's pose to stay for one breath. Inhale, come back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under. Press into all 10 fingertips. Float your tabletop 4 to 6 inches off the earth. Inviting some heat into the core. Gaze between the 2 palms. Keep with the breath. Inhale together. And exhale, we're going to bend the knees, open them up wide, and press the hips back to the heels. Inhale, floating tabletop. And exhale, press back, hips to heels, knees wide. Inhale once more, forward, hugging the navel to spine. And exhale, dropping the hips back to the heels. Inhale, forward together. And exhale, drop the knees to the earth. Keeping the toes tucked. Reach the right leg out long, floating off the earth. Walk the fingertips of the left out until you float the arm. Creating one long, strong line of energy from fingertips to toes. Inhale here and reach long. Exhale, make a fist with the hand and crunch into midline. Inhale, reach out. And exhale, crunch in. Once more, inhale, and exhale to curl, hand to knee. Inhale, reach out, place the hand down, bend the knee, soles up towards the sky. Inhale, heart reaches up, leg lifts, and exhale, curl, knee to nose. Inhale, heart reaches, leg lifts, and exhale, curl. Once more, inhale, lift, heart lifts, and exhale, curl into midline, knee to nose. Inhale, reach the leg out long, walk the fingertips out, float the arm to the left side of the body, bend the knee, and grab on to the ankle or the foot here, or just float the knee if you can't reach. Inhale, reach the heart forward if you have the bind, and exhale, let go, float the hand back to the earth, coming into three-legged down dog, pressing into the hips, pressing into the hands, floating the leg, and exhale, knee to nose here, inviting heat into the core. Inhale, three-legged down dog, and exhale to float the knee to chest to stay. Once more, inhale, float the leg, and exhale, plant the foot by the other at the back of the mat, beginning to walk out our downward facing dog. Breathe here. Alternating, bending and straightening each leg. Finding a moment to breathe, connecting to the breath. Find a place of stillness, come onto the tippy toes, and then reach the heels towards the mat, finding stillness in our down dog. Inhale, come onto the tippy toes again, and then float the heels on an exhale back to the mat. Inhale onto the tippy toes, and exhale to float our tabletop. Bend the knees, floating tabletop. Inhale here, and exhale, press back. Wide knees, hips to heels. Inhale forward, and exhale back. Last one together. Inhale forward, and drop the knees. Keeping the toes tucked, reaching the left leg out, keeping a strong foundation in our left hand, walking the fingertips of the right out in front and floating the arm. Inhale to lengthen, reach through the fingertips, reach through the toes. And exhale, make a fist and curl into center. Fist meets knee. Inhale, reach, lengthen, elongate. And exhale, curl into midline. Last one here. Inhale, reach. And exhale, curl into center. Inhale, lengthen. And float the hand down. Bend the knee. Sole of the foot faces the ceiling. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the heel, and exhale, curl the knee to the nose. Inhale, heart lifts, heel lifts, and exhale, curl in, chin to chest, knee to nose. Inhale once more, reaching the foot up, reaching the heart, and exhale, curl into midline. Inhale, come back up with the leg, float the right arm out in front, to the right side of the mat. Option to find the bind here, ankle or foot. Flex the foot if you have the bind. Inhale, reach the heart forward, float the leg. And exhale, let go. Plant the hand down, keeping the toes tucked, pressing up to three-legged downward facing dog. And exhale, stoking the fire, bringing the knee to the nose to stay. Inhale, lift the leg, three-legged down dog. And exhale to float the knee to the chest. Once more, inhale to float. And exhale into chest. Inhale, float the leg. And exhale, step it back to downward facing dog, walking our dog out once more. Bending alternating knees. Lifting and lowering the heels. And then finding a place of stillness, coming onto our toes and floating the heels down to the earth. Reconnecting with the breath here. Take a look up at our fingers. Make sure there's a significant L shape for the index and the thumbs, pressing into all 10 fingertips, and then float the gaze somewhere between the feet and the hands. Stay here for 3 breaths. Really reaching the hips up towards the ceiling. Heels yearning for the mat. Inhale, come onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Step, hop, or walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Hands can come to shins or stay fingertips on the mat. And exhale, forward fold, finding our waterfall, grabbing opposite elbows, rocking from side to side, decompressing the lower back, dropping the crown of the head, releasing the neck. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, active forward fold. Plant the hands into the earth. You can keep the knees bent here if you need to. Really rooting through the feet, all 4 corners. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, shining the heart, lifting the arms, slight back bend here. And exhale, hands to heart center. To stay here, close the eyes, reconnect with the breath. Taking a moment. Inhale, open the eyes, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, float the hands through midline down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step the right foot back. Come onto the knee, bend the leg. Stay on the toes, walk the fingertips back, and then reach the arms up overhead, shining the heart towards the sky, palm to palm, hands to the back of the heart. Head pressing into the forearms, forearms pressing into the head. Oppositional force here. Making sure the knee is somewhere over the foot, not out or in. Inhale, reach the heart up. And exhale, float the arms to the inside of the foot. Walk the foot out to the width of the mat. And opening the hips, you can either walk the fingertips out in front or come down onto the forearms if that's within reach. It might be nice to put a block underneath your arms if you have one. Stay here for 2 breaths, beginning to open the hips, opening the whole body here. Returning to the breath, coming back onto the palms, lifting the back knee up off the ground, and with integrity, engaging the belly, engaging the navel to the spine, float the front leg and step it back to high plank. Hugging the belly into the spine, creating one long line of energy from crown of the head to the heels, holding here for 1 more breath. And exhaling, floating all the way down to the mat, slowly, with intention, untuck the toes. Inhale, press the hands into the mat, heart lifts. And exhale, float back down, tuck the toes, either through tabletop or straight through plank to downward facing dog. Finding stillness here in our downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg towards the sky. And exhale, open the hip to make hip circles here with the knee, like you're painting, like there's a paintbrush on your knee. Creating circles here in one direction, and then the other direction. Inhale, lift the leg. And exhale, step it all the way through to the front of the mat. Bring the back knee, lift it up to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, shine the heart, heart leads the way. Slight back bend here, hands to heart, to pause for 1 breath. Inhale, float the arms up and overhead. And exhale, hands through heart center, down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, press the hands into the mat, bend the knees, and step the left foot back. Left knee onto the mat. Walk the fingertips back underneath the hips and float the hands up to the sky. Really beginning to open up the front hip, hand to hand, palms to the back of the heart, forearms to head, and head to forearms. So really working to press in opposite directions here. Inhale, forward. And exhale, float the arms to the inside of the foot. Walk the foot out to the width of the mat. You can untuck the back toe here if that's more comfortable for you. Either walking the hands out in front or coming onto the elbows, the forearms, whatever works for you here. Inhaling and exhaling to stay. Opening the hips. You might invite a little movement here, whatever feels good in your body. Walk the palms back to the body, come on to the hands. Plant both hands into the mat, tuck the toes, lift the knee, and with integrity and with intention, bring the front foot to meet the back in high plank. Hold here in high plank, hug the belly into the midline. And exhale, float all the way down to the mat. High Cobra this time, so keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, reach the heart up and press hard into the mat this time. Elbows hug into the chest here, so elbows to ribs, keeping a bend in the elbow. And exhale, drop the heart, tuck the toes through tabletop or down to downward facing dog or through plank here. And one breath in our downward facing dog, finding reprieve, finding relaxation. Inhale, lift the left leg towards the sky, bend the knee, open the hip, and create circles like you're painting circles with your knee. And then move in the opposite direction. Inhale, leg lifts back, squaring the hips off, three-legged down dog. And exhale, step the leg through between the hands, back foot follows. Top of the mat, inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Finding waterfall, grabbing opposite elbows and rocking from side to side. Dropping the chin to chest, crown of the head towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale to fold. Inhale, bend the knees, come all the way up, shine the heart towards the sky. Inhale, reach the arms up and back. And exhale through the midline, heart center, all the way down to the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale to plant the hands and step the right foot back. Coming back on the back heel at a 45-degree angle. Making sure we're on two separate tracks here, not walking on a tightrope. Float the fingertips, making sure we have a stable foundation here. Float the fingertips up off the mat, and then inhale and rise. Warrior one, strong warrior, making sure our knee is bent directly over our ankle. Heart lifts, hands lift, gaze lifts. And exhale, float the hands behind the sacrum, clasp the fingers. Inhale, reach the fists down to the earth. And exhale, humble our warrior. Bow here, bring the inside of the knee to the shoulder. Drop the crown of the head. Inhale, reach back up. Heart lifts. Exhale once more to bow. Inhale, lift. Arms follow. And exhale, plant the hands and step back to plank. Moving through knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga here. If you're knees, chest, and chin, it's going to look like this. Through a low cobra. And then pressing back to downward facing dog. Heels yearning for the mat, hips reaching for the ceiling. All 10 fingertips pressing into the mat. Inhale, come onto the toes, bend the knees, step, hop, or jump, or walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, all the way back down. Plant the hands. We're going to step the left foot back, finding our 45-degree angle with the heel dropped. 2 separate tracks. Hips squared towards the front of the mat. And float the fingertips, finding a strong foundation. Then we rise. Inhale, reach the arms, making sure our knee is stacked over our ankle. And exhale, float the hands, find the opposite clasp, your opposite thumb on top. Inhale, reach the arms down to the mat. And exhale, fold to the inside of the knee, dropping the crown of the head, releasing the neck. Inhale, rise. Heart reaches up towards the ceiling, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come back all the way up. Heart reaches and arms follow. And exhale, plant the hands to frame the foot. Step back to plank. Move through chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. If you're coming through chaturanga, you want to make sure that you're not coming down too far. An upward facing dog and downward facing dog where we'll all meet. 3 breaths here. Enjoy the relaxation, enjoy the reintegration with the breath. Feeling the heat that we're creating in the body. Checking back in with our Ujjayi breath, where we're restricting the breath at the back of the throat. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale, come on to the tippy toes. Bend the knees. Step, hop, or walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Shine the heart. Reach the hands, slight back bend. Hands to heart center and all the way back down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Engage the belly. And exhale, fold, bend the knees. Bring the fingertips down to the earth. Heart reaches towards the front of the room. And inhale, bring the arms up, chair pose. Making sure we check back down with our knees. They're not jutting over our toes. We can see our toes still. You can tuck the tailbone a little bit here, making sure we're taking pressure off the low back. And exhale, we're going to float the arms back behind, really getting to work the legs. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, float the arms behind. Last time, inhale, reach. And exhale, float the hands, grab the arms, opposite hand to clasp. And forward fold, reaching the hands up overhead. Bend the knees, drop the hands. Halfway lift and lengthen. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step the right foot back to the mat. Coming on to the heel. Making sure that the line of the outside of the foot is in line parallel with the back of your mat. Making sure, checking in with the top of the arch of the back of the foot is in line with the heel of the front of the foot. Inhale, windmill the arms up to stand. And exhale to stay. Taking a look at our knee, making sure it's not jutting in or out. Really protecting the knee here. Inhale, reach the heart out in front. And then exhale, bring the gaze over the front fingers. Inhale, flip the front palm. Reach the arm up and over for reverse warrior. Bring the back hand to the heart. And then exhale, we're going to bring the front arm to the heart and back arm reaching up and over for a side stretch here. Inhale, back to warrior one. Exhale, we're going to float the hands down to the earth, framing the foot and stepping it back to high plank and pressing back through downward facing dog or taking your vinyasa. One more breath here. Next, inhale, come onto the tips of the toes, bend the knees, step, walk, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, fold, bend the knees, bring the fingertips back to the earth for our favorite chair pose. Last time, inhale, reach the arms forward, and exhale, float the arms back behind. Inhale, forward and reach, and exhale, back. This time, inhale, come all the way up to stand, slight back bend. Exhale, hands to heart for one breath. Checking back in with the breath. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, float all the way down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, finding our frame of warrior two. Back heel drops, parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up, windmill the arms up. Find our heart reaching forward, bringing our gaze to our front fingertips. Checking in with the knee, making sure it's directly over the ankle. And stay here, strong warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reach it back, bring the back hand to the heart here, finding a little bit of core work. And exhale, extended side angle, front arm, palm comes to the heart. Reach up and over. And inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, float the arms to frame the foot. Step it back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa or press back into downward facing dog. Here for 3 breaths. Inhale, come on to the toes, bend the knees, step, walk, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold, active forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands to heart. One breath here. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And exhale, swan dive down, reaching the arms out, heart leads the way. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, finding that same frame of warrior two. And this time, we're just gonna open the hips up. So we're gonna come all the way up to stand, open the hips, bringing the front foot turned inward, finding a little bit of a toes facing inside, heels pointing out. Arms reach up and overhead. Engage the belly here and float forward, finding a forward fold with a wide-legged stance. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen here. So shine the heart, straighten the back. And then exhale, fold more deeply. Walk the hands between the feet, behind the feet. And drop the crown of the head to the mat. Inhale, come back, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, we're going to turn the heels in, bend the knees, bring the hands to the hips, and find ourselves in a wide-legged squat here. Bring the arms up to cactus, and now we're in goddess pose. Hold here, really turn the pelvis, tilt it under. Good. And inhale, make a star. Stand up. Exhale, find that once more, squat low. Beautiful. Inhale, come back up. And exhale once more. And then inhale to stand. Point the foot back to the front of the mat. Finding the front heel in line with the back heel here. Pointing the foot at a 45-degree angle. Reach the arms up. And then just gently float over the front knee. Heart reaches to the knee. Arms reach up and over. Finding a nice stretch in the front leg. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, bend the front knee, plant the hands, step back into high plank. Just stay for 2 breaths together. Hugging the belly into the midline. Really engaging the core. And exhale, float the heart and chest all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes. And inhale, reach the heart, baby cobra. Try to lift the fingers off the earth here. Really baby cobra. And exhale, float the right cheek to the mat. Be held here, reach the arms back by the hips. Find a moment to check back in with the breath. Press the hands underneath the shoulders. Bend the knees, soles of the feet facing towards the ceiling. We're going to grab onto the ankles, the shins, the feet, wherever you can here. Reach the heart forward. Kick into the hands on an inhale and lift the chest up. Lift the feet. You might find a nice rocking motion here. Really making sure that the knees are not splaying out wide, but really hugging into the midline. One more breath here. And exhale to release the left cheek to the mat. Hands down by the hips. Finding our breath here. Being held by the mat. Inhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, finding ourselves back in downward facing dog either through plank or tabletop, whichever you prefer. Float the hips up. Find a stillness here. Inhale, reach the left leg towards the ceiling. And exhale, stoking the last bit of fire here. Bring the knee to the chest. Inhale, reach the leg up. And exhale to bring the knee into midline. Once more, reach the leg back up to the sky. And exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, float the leg. Reach the leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. We're going to drop the foot back over, inviting ourselves to flip our downward facing dog to find ourselves in wild thing. Beautiful. You can bring the top hand to the heart or reach the hand up. Reach the hips up towards the ceiling. Really nice job, everyone. And then float it back, finding ourselves back in downward facing dog. And then floating the knees down to the mat, pressing back for a momentary child's pose. Bringing the forehead to the mat. Finding breath. Bringing breath into our lower back here, really bringing a lot of air into our bodies. Inhale, come back to tabletop, tuck the toes. Find downward facing dog. Float the hips towards the ceiling. Inhale, come on to the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step, walk, or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, and exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step the left foot back, finding that same frame of warrior two as we did before. Windmilling the arms up to stand, and bringing the feet parallel to the outside of the mat. Reach the arms up towards the sky, and find our forward fold here. Plant the hands into the earth. Halfway lift and lengthen here. Find our breath. Inhale. Exhale, fold deeply. Crown of the head yearning towards the mat. Inhale, walk the hands over to the right foot. Pressing the hands into the mat. Maybe dipping the elbow of the left hand, left arm. Breathing here. Exhale, walk it back to center and all the way over to the opposite side. Pressing into both hands and maybe dipping the arm of the right towards the mat, finding a nice shoulder opening here as we open the hips, as we begin to warm the legs. And exhale, come back to center. Halfway lift and lengthen. Bend the knees, bring the heels in. Finding ourselves in that same squat. Scarecrowing the arms out. Strong legs. Inhale, reach up, make a star. And exhale, come back to that squat. Inhale, reach up, expand the heart, expand the arms. And exhale, float down to our seat. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, last time, float down. Okay, inhale up. And then finding that same stretch on this side of the body, bringing the back toes to a 45-degree angle, front toes to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, float the heart down to the knee. Arms come up and overhead, activating the triceps, activating the backs of the arms. And drop the crown. Inhale, come all the way up, bend the knee. And plant the hands to frame the foot. Step back to plank. And press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up towards the sky. And exhale, knee to nose. 2 more. Inhale, reach long. And exhale, curl into midline, hugging the knee to the nose. Last one. Inhale, reach. You've got it. Exhale, come into midline to hold. Inhale, reach the leg up towards the sky. Bend the knee and open the hip. We're going to find that same flipping of the dog to wild thing. So bringing the top leg to plant into the earth. Heart reaches towards the ceiling. Arm lifts. Either bringing the top hand to the heart or keeping it extended. And exhale, flip back to downward facing dog. Good job, everybody. And float the knees down. Finding another momentary child's pose. Hips to heels, forehead rests on the mat. And breathe here to stay. Bring air into the lower back, filling the whole body. Inhale, walk the fingertips back to the knees. Come to sit on our heels for a moment. Lift the hips. Find ourselves standing on our knees. You can either keep the toes tucked here, or if you have more flexibility, keep the toes untucked. Inhale, finding our hands crossed out in front of our heart or on our heart, wherever we'd like. We're going to inhale and exhale. We're just going to gently pulse backwards before we fall, finding our place where we can hold here. Inhale forward and exhale back. Let's do that once more. Inhale forward and exhale, float back. Inhale forward and exhale. This time, release the hands. Keep the same integrity and grab onto the ankles here if you have the space to do so. Float the hips up towards the ceiling and drop the head if your neck allows, or otherwise keep it crunched in. This is great. Otherwise, you can float the head back, finding a nice back bend. When you're ready, float the hips down to meet the ankles slowly. And we're back in hero's pose, finding child's pose with our hands beside our hips, beside our feet. Breathing here. One more breath. Inhale, plant the hands underneath the shoulders and press up to sit on the heels. Lift the hips once more. Keep the fingertips pressed in, tuck the toes under, and we're just going to walk it back, lift the knees, and here we are to stand forward fold. Inhale, heart lifts, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, we're going to widen our stance to about mat width and point the toes out. Inhale, halfway lift here. And exhale, we're just going to drop the hips, planting the hands for stability, finding Malasana, yogi squat, hands to heart, pressing the elbows energetically into the knees. Inhale, heart reaches for the hands, crown of the head lifts toward the ceiling. Exhale to stay. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, just float the fingertips down to the earth. Finding a little bit of free motion here, just bringing in some movement into the inside of the hips. Inhale, bring the hands back and gently float the hips down, bring the hands out in front just so that the knees can kind of come together. And here we are in boat. Float the legs, keeping the knees bent. Inhale here. Really reach the heart towards the feet. And exhale, open, bringing the feet to float off the ground. Inhale, condense. And exhale, open. Once more, inhale together. And exhale to float. Drop the feet. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, bring the heart energetically towards the feet without curling the neck, without crunching here. Inhale, reach the heart forward, and exhale to stay. Bring some passive activity into the pose. Curl the chin into chest and plant the hands, opening the upper back, the shoulders. Shine the heart forward, inhale, and exhale. Just bring the hands beside the hips. Walk the fingertips back behind the hips, pointing towards the body. Let's just practice flexing and pointing the feet here. Flex and point. Bring your feet to point down towards the mat. Inhale, press into the palms, lift the heart, lift the hips. Heart reaches, hips reach towards the sky. And exhale, float the hips back down. Once more, inhale, reach the hips, reach the heart. And exhale to float back down. I lied, let's do it one more time. Inhale, hips float. This time you can drop the head back, we're gonna stay. Or you can keep the head tucked in. Keep holding, and exhale, float the hips back down. Bring the hips forward, plant feet. Inhale, hands reach forward. And exhale, come about halfway down to hold. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come a little bit further than halfway. Inhale, come back up. And exhale all the way down to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Here, hug the knees into the chest. Rock from side to side, massaging the lower back. Breathing into the body. And then find a place of stillness. Crunch the chin to the chest and bring the forehead to the knees, creating a tiny little egg. And exhale, float the head back to the mat. Reach for the soles of the feet, bend the knees. Soles of the feet yearn towards the ceiling. And come into happy baby, rocking here, massaging the lower lumbar. Breathing, closing the eyes if that feels good. Inhale, reach the feet all the way up towards the sky. Float the hands down beside the hips. And exhale, gently float the legs down to meet the mat slowly. When you get almost there, you can hold if you want a little extra heat, or come all the way down. Inhale, hug the knees back in. Rock up and down. Do this 3 or 4 times until you come all the way up to sit. In a cross-legged position, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling, and exhale, float the palms out, keeping the hips planted in the earth, keeping the sacrum on the ground. Inhale, walk the hands to the right, and stay, linger here, breathe into the hip. Exhale, walk it over to the other side. As far as you can, finding your edge. And exhale to stay and linger, bringing air into the opposite side. Walk the fingers back to the front and pause here, planting the palms. If your forehead wants to meet the mat, find that here. Otherwise, keep the chin to the chest, hands reaching out, pressing the hips down into the mat. Inhale, walk the hands back to the knees. Finding gentle circles with the hips here. One direction with the inhale and exhale, round. Opposite direction here. Planting the feet. Finding ever so slowly our mat, vertebrae by vertebrae, with integrity in the belly. Once again, hugging the knees into the spine, really rocking here from side to side. Bring the arms out to create a T, palms facing up, keeping the rocking motion with the knees from side to side until you land on the right. Knees stacked, however close or far away from the hand, and then bring the gaze to the opposite arm. Head falls to the left. Close the eyes here. Giving ourselves a nice twist before we end our practice. Inhale, bring the gaze to center. Exhale to stay. Inhale, engage the belly and float the knees to center. Rock from side to side here, keeping the arms outstretched. And then rock all the way to the left side, knees to stack. And bring the gaze to follow to the opposite arm. And gently close the eyes. Feeling the inner organs getting a nice massage, a nice squeeze here. Sending breath into the belly, into the organs. Expanding the belly and contracting. Inhale, bring the gaze to center. You can keep the eyes closed. Exhale to stay. Inhale, engage the belly, engage the core. Float the knees to center. Give yourself one last good hug here. Tuck the chin in, bring the crown up, bring the forehead to the knees. Create a tiny ball. And exhale, let go. Float the arms out beside the hips and bring the soles of the feet together, finding a nice hip opening posture. Heart shines towards the ceiling. Bring one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart. And so follow your breath. Inhale, belly expands, heart lifts. And exhale, heart drops, chest drops, belly hugs in. Following your own breath pattern here with the hands on the body. If you're very comfortable here, you can stay here for Shavasana or extend the legs out long and bring the hands down behind, beside the hips. Open up. Take more space than you think you need to create your own space. Maybe peel the shoulders up, expand the heart here, and then lower. Finding stillness here. Letting the practice integrate into the body after all of the heat and opening that we brought in during this practice. All of the core that we built. Dropping the ankles, releasing the backs of the legs, feeling the hips become heavy into the mat. Letting go of the jaw, parting the lips. Letting go of the eyeballs, between the eyebrows, the forehead, releasing every muscular action of the face. And let yourself be held here. Begin to check back in with the body. Inhale through the belly before we make any movements. And exhale. Inhale, belly lifts. Big breaths here. Bring the fingertips to each thumb. Ankles begin to rotate. Wrists rotate. Point and flex the feet. Arms reach up overhead. Toes reach pointing towards the floor. Long stretch, keeping the eyes closed. Inhale, expand, and exhale, bring the knees to the chest. Hug the knees in. Rock from side to side until whatever side that you feel drawn to, come lay on that side, bringing the arm, creating the pillow with the upper arm. Finding a fetal position, being held by the mat here. And when you're ready, pressing the hand into the mat, keeping the eyes closed and coming up to a seated posture. Wherever you began your practice tonight, finding a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed. Hands on top of the knees. Bring the left hand, palm facing up on top of the knee. Right hand Index finger and middle finger come to press into the palm. Right thumb to right nostril. Inhale through the left. And plug the left nostril with the ring finger. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. Plug the right nostril with the thumb and exhale through the left. Inhale left. And exhale right. Flow through this cycle 3 more times on your own breath. Balancing opposite sides of the brain. One more cycle. Wherever you're at, float the hand back down to the top of the knee, both palms facing up. Inhale both nostrils. And exhale out the mouth. Twice more together. Inhale. Last time. Inhale together. Exhale. We'll palms together, rub together, create some heat between the fingertips. Hands over the eyes, pressing into the sockets gently. Bringing the hands down to the neck, giving a soft massage to the neck and the shoulders. And then floating the hands to the heart center. Dip the chin to the chest. And come back to that seed of gratitude. Whatever you were thankful for at the beginning of this practice, send out that seed. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. Thank you. Yes, thanks for coming. It's really quiet when the music turns off.